Remember waking up on Saturday mornings, grabbing a bowl of cereal, and turning on Cartoon Network? For many of us in the UK, USA, and all around the world, Cartoon Network wasn't just TV, it was childhood itself. But behind the laughs, the colors, and the crazy characters, there are shocking truths, hidden secrets, and facts that will absolutely blow your mind. Today, we're diving into 10 Cartoon Network facts that will change the way you remember your childhood. From the Powerpuff Girls to Dexter's Laboratory, from Courage the Cowardly Dog to Adventure Time. Trust me, this is the Cartoon Network you were never supposed to see. Number 10. Ed, Edd, and Eddy. This cartoon had more than its fair share of bizarre moments. But one thing that stood out was the character design. The show's creator, Danny Antonucci, actually based the characters off of his own childhood friends. But here's the twist. They weren't just friends. They were part of a gang. No. 9. Johnny Bravo. Remember him? Well, it turns out the character's creator, Van Partible, based Johnny on none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger. But that's not all. Johnny's catchphrase, "Woo," is actually a direct lift from Conan the Barbarian. And now, it's time for number 8. Dexter's Laboratory. Did you know that the voice of Dexter's sister Dee Dee is actually the same as Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls? It's true, the voice actress is the same, but most people don't realize it. Cartoon Network changed everything. The network that brought us Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, and Courage the Cowardly Dog is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And to all the 90s kids out there, I know you're feeling nostalgic right now. Well, I've got 2 crazy facts about Cartoon Network that will blow your mind. So get ready, because here are the insane origins of Cartoon Network. Fact 1. Cartoon Network almost never existed. Believe it or not, Cartoon Network almost never came to life. Back in the early 1990s, Warner Brothers had a huge library of old cartoons, Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera shows, and more. But nobody knew what to do with them. At first, executives didn't think a 24-hour cartoon channel would even work. They thought kids wouldn't watch cartoons all day long. But Ted Turner, yes, the man behind CNN, had a crazy vision: create the first ever TV channel dedicated entirely to cartoons. When Cartoon Network launched in 1992, critics laughed. They thought it would fail within months. But within a year, it became one of the most popular kids' networks in the USA. And within a few more years, it had spread to the UK and beyond. Here's the shocking part. If Ted Turner hadn't pushed his risky idea, we might have never seen Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, or even Adventure Time. The entire childhood of millions would look completely different. Fact 2. Dexter's Laboratory started as a student film. Dexter's Laboratory wasn't born in a big studio. It actually started as a small student project. Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator, made a short animation for film school about a boy genius and his annoying sister. Cartoon Network loved it so much, they turned it into a full series. But here's the crazy part. Many famous animators worked on Dexter before becoming legends. Craig McCracken, the creator of Powerpuff Girls, Butch Hartman, Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, and Seth MacFarlane, Family Guy. Dexter's Lab was literally the training ground for the biggest names in animation. Without it, some of your favorite shows might never have existed. So there you have it, 2 crazy facts about Cartoon Network that will blow your mind. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment below which Cartoon Network show you missed the most. And don't forget to subscribe for more fun facts every day. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. It's time for some scary stories. But no, wait, you know what? We'll make those scary stories about cartoons instead. Enjoy these spooky tales from behind the scenes of your favorite Nickelodeon classics. Fact 3. The Powerpuff Girls were originally called the Hoopus Girls. Everyone remembers Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup saving Townsville. But here's a mind-blowing fact. The Powerpuff Girls almost never made it to TV the way we know them. Back in 1992, Craig McCracken created a short film while in college. The title, The Hoopus Girls. Yes, you heard that right. Hoopus, as in whooping butt. instead of Professor Utonium, adding sugar, spice, and everything nice with chemical X. He accidentally spilled a can of hoopus into the formula. Cartoon Network loved the idea, but obviously knew the name would unfly for kids in the USA or UK. So, they rebranded it as the Powerpuff Girls. But here's the wild part. Even after the name change, the show kept much of its edgy humor and action. The creators intentionally snuck in darker references, subtle adult jokes, and parodies of violent superhero tropes. That's why so many adults secretly loved watching it too. Without Cartoon Network's gamble on Powerpuff Girls, modern shows like Steven Universe and Adventure Time might not have had the courage to mix cuteness with darkness. Fact 4. Courage the Cowardly Dog was based on real urban legends. Courage the Cowardly Dog is famous for scaring the life out of kids. But what if I told you many episodes were inspired by real urban legends and folklore? The show was set in Nowhere, Kansas, a place surrounded by endless desert and mystery. But fans have pointed out something chilling. Nowhere, Kansas is a real place. Based on an isolated farmhouse in the Midwest that had mysterious stories about UFOs, kidnappings, and supernatural sightings. Some of the show's scariest villains were directly linked to myths. The demon in the mattress resembled possession legends. King Ramses' curse was inspired by Egyptian mummy curses. The Harvest Moon Beast reflected old farmer folklore about protecting land. Even the show's style felt like a creepy VHS tape. Unsettling music, sudden silence, and bizarre CGI villains. Here's the kicker. Courage was supposed to be a comedy, but kids in both the USA and UK reported being traumatized by it. Cartoon Network never admitted it openly. But Courage became infamous for pushing the boundary between kids' cartoon and straight-up horror. And hey, since you're still watching, we have one more special fact for you. Fact 5. Ed, E.T., and Eddie were almost totally different. This wacky trio had a rough start. Originally, the EDs weren't your average suburban They lived in a decaying mansion, rumored to be haunted, and were obsessed with alchemy. Their goal: find the legendary Jawbreaker, an ancient gem said to bring unimaginable power. This dark concept was called the Ed's Show. But after focus group research, Cartoon Network executives thought it was too similar to Dexter's Laboratory and also too scary for young viewers. So they scrapped the whole haunted house idea and simplified everything. The alchemists became regular kids. The Jawbreaker turned into just a regular candy, and alchemy was replaced with, well, Ed, and Eddie trying to scam their friends for jawbreakers. Despite all these changes, show creator Danny Antonucci kept some hidden winks to the original concept. For example, the animation style referenced old Victorian cartoons, and the Ed's obsession with jawbreakers still symbolized their desire for ultimate power. It's like a secret for fans to discover, making the show feel richer and deeper than your average kid's cartoon. If you're still awake, leave a comment below and let us know which Nick cartoon scares you the most. And if you want to keep the scary stories coming, check out our other videos. See you next time. From the creators of Regular Show and Ben 10 comes a legend so big, so bizarre, it changed Cartoon Network forever. Fact 1. The Powerpuff Girls changed animation forever. When Cartoon Network first aired in 1998, it was seen as a better version of Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon had Rugrats, Ren, and Stimpy, and Doug. But Cartoon Network countered with Powerpuff Girls. Created by the legendary Genndy Tartakovsky, this superhero cartoon redefined what action meant for kids. Forget complex plots. The Powerpuff Girls was all about fast-paced fights, wacky villains, and most importantly, empowering girls. Blossom Bubbles and Buttercup weren't just cute. They kicked butt, proving girls could be strong, smart, and anything they wanted. Their impact, huge. Powerpuff Girls broke Cartoon Network's viewership records. It inspired a generation of girl bosses. And even boys loved it. The art style, the action, the kitschy theme song, it all came together to make the most iconic 90s cartoon. A true game changer that showed girls they didn't need saving. They could be the heroes. Fact 2. Johnny Bravo, the OG. Hey there, ladies. You know the name. Johnny Bravo was Cartoon Network's first original series to air. Premiering in 1997, this bodybuilder hunk was the network's first big hit. Created by Van Partible, who also worked on Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo was a parody of those over-the-top macho men. But it wasn't just funny, it was groundbreaking. The series pushed Cartoon Network's boundaries, experimenting with animation styles, slapstick humor, and even surrealism. Episodes weren't just silly, they had heart. Johnny's schemes often backfired, teaching life lessons without being preachy. The character became a pop culture sensation. Johnny's catchphrases, signature pose, and pompadour haircut were instantly recognizable. He was the cool, confident dude, even if his plans went awry. Johnny Bravo was more than a cartoon character. He was a symbol of Cartoon Network's new era, bold, experimental, and unapologetically fun. As a kid watching Cartoon Network in the USA or UK, you probably felt like you were living in paradise. 24/7 animation meant there was always something fun to watch. But behind the scenes, the network was quietly experimenting with something new, edgier, more mature cartoons that would push the boundaries of what animation could be. Today we're going to explore two of these forgotten classics and the facts behind them. But before we start, click the subscribe button so you can join the adventure. Also, stick around for number 1 because it'll blow your mind. 1. Dexter's Lab was almost a totally different show. Dexter's Laboratory first aired in 1996, but did you know it almost had nothing to do with science? In the original pitch, Dexter wasn't a boy genius, but a mad scientist type who conducted experiments from his treehouse. His inventions often went wrong, causing total mayhem. This pilot episode even featured DD as a huge fan of Dexter, similar to Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. But Cartoon Network executives felt this concept was too close to another popular series at the time, The Adventures of Pete and Pete. So Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator, had to completely rethink the series. He changed Dexter's age from a teenager to a child, moved the setting from a treehouse to a basement, and turned Dee from a supportive sister to a pest. These changes made the series more comedic and allowed it to stand out. But Tartakovsky didn't stop there. He also introduced Mandark, one of the most iconic villains in cartoon history. The result was a massive success. Dexter's Laboratory ran for 6 seasons, spawned 3 movies, and became one of the most popular shows on Cartoon Network. Fans in the USA and UK loved the fast-paced action, witty writing, and memorable characters like Mandark, the evil genius with a truly unforgettable hairdo. 2. Samurai Jack was canceled, then brought back 13 years later. Cartoon Network aired some of the most iconic cartoons ever, but the network itself has some pretty wild history that you probably didn't realize. Here are 10 Cartoon Network facts that will blow your mind. Did you ever wonder why Cartoon Network went all out with the creepy factor on Courage the Cowardly Dog? Well, it's because the creators were directly inspired by a nightmare they had while working on another cartoon. The executives at Cartoon Network had a nightmare about a dog that looked like Courage, and then got chased by a creature from another dimension through the suburbs. So when they started developing Courage, they wanted to make it as creepy and unsettling as possible. Samurai Jack was one of the most popular shows on Cartoon Network, but it nearly didn't happen. The network originally rejected the show because it thought the character designs were too similar to Power Rangers. But when the creator of Samurai Jack, Genndy Tartakovsky, pointed out the similarities between Samurai Jack and Avatar, The Last Airbender, Cartoon Network had no choice but to greenlight the series. The Powerpuff Girls were almost a completely different show. Originally, the girls had fully realized superpowers, and the tone of the show was much darker. However, after focus group research, Cartoon Network executives felt that the show would be more marketable if the girls were less powerful and the tone was more light. Johnny Bravo was almost canceled after its first episode due to low ratings. However, Cartoon Network executives felt that the show had potential and decided to keep it on the air. They moved the show to a later time slot, which turned out to be a big mistake. Johnny Bravo became one of Cartoon Network's most popular shows of all time. Ed and Eddie's creators were so confident that their show would be a hit with kids that they made a movie about the characters before the series even premiered. The movie was called Ed and Eddie's Big Picture Show, and it was released direct-to-video in 2000. The series premiered later that year and went on to become one of Cartoon Network's most popular shows. Dexter's Laboratory was based on the real-life experiences of one of the show's creators. Genndy Tartakovsky has said that Dexter was based on himself as a child when he would build gadgets and gizmos in his bedroom. The show also features a character named Dee Dee, who is based on Tartakovsky's sister. The regular show was almost called The Half as Interesting Adventures of Mordecai and Rigby. The creators of the show came up with the concept while working on another Cartoon Network series, and they were told that the concept was too similar to Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. As a result, the creators had to come up with a new name and concept for the show, which eventually became the regular show. Chowder was one of Cartoon Network's first original animated series to be produced in high definition. The show ran for 3 seasons, from 2007 to 2010, and was created by C.H. Greenblatt, who also created the Nickelodeon show Ren and Stimpy. Camp Lazlo was set in the fictional Camp Kidney, but it was loosely based on the real-life Camp Chippewa in Michigan. The show creators spent a summer at the camp developing the show, and it premiered in 2005. The show ran for 3 seasons before being canceled due to low ratings. OKKO. Let's Be Heroes was created by Ian Owsley, who was also one of the main writers on the Cartoon Network series' regular show. The show was praised by critics, but it was canceled after 2 seasons due to low ratings. Despite its cancellation, OKKO. Let's Be Heroes has a cult following and is considered by many to be one of the best cartoons on Cartoon Network. And there you have it, -10 Cartoon Network facts that will blow your mind. From creepy nightmares in Courage to the shocking near bankruptcy of the entire channel. These secrets show just how wild and influential Cartoon Network really was.